Hi everyone, Steve here. It's maple syrup time, just like that. Went from winter and 8 inches of snow right to 40-degree weather, and it's only the last week in February. So I've already tapped one tree. We are going to tap a few more trees. My goal is about 100 gallons this year, and I bought a big tank at Blaine's that'll hold 35 gallons so I can keep consolidating it. And I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm far from an expert, but we've got the job done, and we'll boil some maple syrup and have some syrup for next year. It's pretty good syrup. You just got to get used to the syrup. It's a little thinner than you buy at the store, which they must add a lot of stuff to it at the store. But so I just want to show you what's going on and how I do it. And welcome to Rabbit Ridge Living. All right, my process is pretty simple. I went down to Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. Bought a bunch of 5-gallon buckets a few years ago. And the key is to get a nice lid and drill a little hole or 2 holes in it. Keeps all the waste from the tree and birds and animals and everything out of the product, and you end up with a pretty clean syrup. You're going to boil it, but you still got to strain it and filter it a number of times. So that works out really good, and it does have a handle on there so I can set it on the ground or hook it on a tree like I did here with a screw in there. We'll get up close and look at that in a minute. And I got these Amazon kit. Not the best kit in the world in my mind, but it just drill 5/16. It goes in, and not very many nubs on there. You tap it in and leave a little gap here at the end. I always tilt them down a little bit so when it freezes, the water will run out faster and start flowing. I understand the syrup or the sap from the tree actually flows up the tree, and it's not necessarily a gravity thing. The gravity part is just for the run into the bucket and help it unfreeze a little better. But these are good as any, and they got the fancy metal ones with hooks and all kinds of things on there. The problem with these Amazon blue ones is they didn't take the time to measure the hose, so you literally got to heat the hose up to jam it on the barbs, and they didn't have any forethought whatsoever in my mind, but they're the guys making millions. So this is what we're going to do. We got a couple more trees we're going to tap, and we'll see how it goes. This other first tree that I've already done just a few minutes ago, it started running very quickly, the sap, and I don't know if we can see it or not. I'll move up close to it in a minute. We're already dripping. Real simple process. A little closer there, you just tap that bad boy in there and put the hose in there. 2 of them. The bigger the tree, the more hoses you probably want. But 2 is probably good for this size tree. This isn't a real clean maple. It's been slid, but it really puts a lot of sap out. It's hard to keep up with sometimes. It fills up quickly. All right, well, the next step is, of course, to get my drill and put a hole in this tree. I'll probably just set this one on the ground. Probably drill right about in here. Get a nice stable platform. And be easy to change that way. Don't have to worry about the weight. So we'll do that, but the step before all this is you got to find the right tree. You got sugar maples and just different kinds of maples, and I don't even know what they all are. Silver maples, and I think we actually have a combination of them going, and they all have different sugar contents, I understand. But they weren't good last year or the year before, and so we're just going to tap these next 2 maple trees up here where I can get to them nice and easy and see how this goes. All right, that's the drill. 5/16, little hammer, tap it in. Just position your pocket there so it's not going to trip over. Just kind of line it up. Put your lid on there. about there. So probably gonna stop about there, so I'll go in about here. Not that big of a do. So I got the right kind of tree. Some sap ought to be coming out of here. Don't see any yet. Let's clean the little. And it's starting to come. Not as fast as the other one. Yeah, here it comes. You probably won't be able to see it yet. It's that fast it's getting wet. So anyway, we're just going to tap this bad boy in here. Starting to rain now. Alright, we're in business. Sometimes I put a rock on here in case it gets a little windy or something. But if you were a professional or you had a whole bunch of trees to do, you definitely want to get a better system in place that you can do more, and you can tie multiple lines together, tee them, and go to a big tank if you got equipment and all kinds of things. But just for the small yard like mine, this is just perfect, and 100 gallons is all I want to boil anyway. Okay, I got the next bucket. I think I told you about 10 of these buckets and 35-gallon tank. It's some big pans. Hi everyone, just a little maple syrup update. It's been a few days and I've collected approximately 16 gallons of maple syrup. I did make some changes. I changed some hoses around and I added a second or a third maple tree to it. So I have like 6 lines going into 3 5-gallon pails and one tree that was just kind of sitting by itself, just really isn't producing. I may even be in the wrong kind of tree. We looked at it, we really can't tell. So that one's going to be down, but these other ones are putting out syrup pretty quick now. And the weather's was a little cold for a few days, but it's been warming up, cold in the evening and warm during the day, and we're coming into a real warm week. So we're going to see what happens. But I'll walk out here and I'll show you the tank that I have. I have that 35-gallon tank so I can process a bunch of pails and put it in there and fill up the rest. The goal, again, as I said, is 100 gallons, and then we'll boil it down and make some maple syrup. Okay, here's the tank. Just sitting up on a couple sawhorses on a board. And we'll walk around here and take a look at everything. 16 gallons. We got a little hose on there and a hose on the bottom so I can take it right to the burner. Alright, let's take a look at the syrup buckets today. See how we're doing, or the sap buckets. Ooh, it's getting pretty full. I might have to change that here. Let's look at the other ones. This one I can see is about half full. It's starting to run now. You can see some sap coming out of there. It's just not in the sun too much. So I'll leave it. There's probably feels like just under a quarter. Oh, I'm gonna have to tap this a little bit better here. Or not tap. See where I tried to plug my old holes, so I moved everything on this one. They were leaking badly, so I want the syrup in there, sap in the bucket. This one here has been in the shade, so it's just not running near as much. It's probably only a quarter full, if that. All right, that's where we're at today, and I'll just keep you posted here as we get our bucket count goes up. Once we get enough gallons, I'll probably start, hopefully, it's supposed to be warm all this week, up in the high 50s or even 60s. So I'm thinking within a week here I'll have enough sap to start boiling. In the meantime, I'm just going to fill it up, and there's not a whole lot to see until then. Alright, we're going to start boiling a little early. I got about 35 gallons and it's full. It's 61 degrees out today, and some of the trees are running good, some of them aren't running good. I'm going to move a couple taps out there to get a little better vein. And Debbie did some research, and it's best to have it on a main root going up the tree. And so we're going to move some of that, and when you drill into the tree, you got to make sure you got good wood in there. You don't want brown dried wood. You need to make sure you're in a good vein, because you can have dead spots in those trees, and I don't think I'm in the best spot in the newest maple I tapped. So we're going to move that a little bit and see. But right now I'm just got some cheesecloth in there and a funnel. We're just simply straining it. You can pour it through a cheesecloth or a funnel or strainer or whatever, just to catch the big stuff at this point. Then we're going to start boiling some of it down, and so I'm running out of room. I keep it in the buckets normally, but it's getting warmer than expected, so I want to make sure nothing spoils. They say it turns cloudy after too much heat for a few days, so I want to get it boiling sooner than later. I was planning on doing it in a few days, but so that's what's going on, and we'll show you the burner I have going and the setup here in a few minutes. Okay, here's the setup. I just got a double burner, propane tank, put them on high, a couple buckets from Myers. Stainless steel, they were the cheapest price. Everybody wants the long, narrow ones so you can boil it faster, but for the backyard warrior, I'm not going to go to all that trouble and expense. These were pretty cheap a couple years ago. Just getting it heated up now. Once it gets heated up, I'm going to take the tops off and just let it boil away. And you just don't want all that steam going on things. Your cars or your house and far enough away. So it's a pretty simple process. You just keep boiling, straining, and adding. Boiling, straining, and adding. When it gets starts thickening, we usually take it inside, and Debbie processes it on the kitchen stove, where we have a lot better control, and then we'll bottle it up, and there we go.